Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, I'm Nikhil and I have been working as a data engineer for over 3 years. Today I'm sharing my interview experience for the data platform engineer role at Accenture. This video will walk you through the entire process, the questions I faced and how I approached them. So if you are preparing for a similar role, this video is for you. So there were basically 4 rounds in Accenture. So round 1 was about the assessment. So this was an online assessment focusing on technical knowledge and problem solving skills. There were questions on SQL, Python and Spark with a time limit for each session. Round 2 was technical interview. So in this round, I was asked about my roles and responsibilities and my knowledge on Azure Databricks. Round 3 was kind of a techno managerial round, and this round was more focused on my project experience. Round 4 was HR discussion, which happened on the phone call, and this round was the final round, which was about discussing about my salary expectations and understanding about my role in more detail. It was a straightforward round. Coming to the round 2, which was technical interview 1, I was asked about what are your roles and responsibilities in the project, and I had to explain them briefly. Here I had to explain about my project architecture, the source and where the data is residing and all. And the next question was about explaining the different file formats which I have worked on. So I have worked on different file formats such as CSV, Parquet, Delta, JSON, etc. So I had to explain the same. And the next question was about what is Delta table, and I had to explain about it. So here I had to explain something like, as we all know, Delta table is an extension of Parquet with features such as the ACID transactions, and we can also have schema enforcement as well as the schema evaluation, and also it supports time traveling where we can query the historical data. It also supports change data capture. So next question was about like how can I load a file where columns keep changing. So here I had to explain about my approach such like, so we can use schema inference and or else we can define a flexible schema with an optional fields. And apart from that, we can also enable schema evaluation in the Delta Lake. And coming to the next question, I was asked like why Spark is lazy and can you talk more about lazy evaluation in Spark. So here I had to explain about the how the execution plans happen using the DAG. And coming to it was a follow-up question. So the next question was about what is DAG and can you speak about the job, stage and task which gets created in Apache Spark. So I had to explain about the DAG, and also with respect to job I had to explain like how it gets created when an action is triggered, and what is stage. Stage is something like a subdivision of a job which is created by shuffle boundaries. And I had to speak about the task like it is a unit of work executed on a single partition. And the next question was about what is the difference between RDD, data frame and dataset. So here I had to explain about the RDD is kind of a lower level API and data frame is a higher level API. And coming to a dataset, right? So dataset is not available in PySpark, but it is available in Scala, which is a type safe. So coming to the next question, I was asked like though Spark processes data in memory, why is cache required? So here I had to explain how the cache prevents the recomputation of data across multiple actions. And apart from that, there is also performance improvement if we use a cache. Apart from cache, I also had to speak about persist. So the next question was about what is Databricks runtime. So here I had to explain about the what is Databricks runtime. And apart from that, I was also asked about have you also worked on Delta Live Table. Since I have never worked on Delta Live Table, I told them that I have not worked on it. So the next question was about what are workflows in Databricks. Can you explain it briefly? So here I had to speak about the workflows. I mean the jobs and all which gets created. So how we can create it and also how the jobs are scheduled and what is the dependency management. And coming to the final question, I was asked about can you write a SQL query to find the first highest salary as well as the lowest salary within each department. So here I gave an answer something like where we can use a max of salary as well as the minimum of salary by grouping it with the department ID. But then interviewer asked me, for example, if I had to find something like like, can you find the second highest salary as well as the third lowest salary within each department? So here I told him the approach such that, like, if there are duplicates, we cannot use a row number. If there are no duplicates, we can use a row number window function. Or else I told him that we can use a dense rank and order it by the salary descending as well as order it by salary ascending, and then partition it by on the department, so department id, so that we will get the second highest salary as well as the third lowest salary within each department. Now coming to the round 3, it was about a techno managerial round. So in this round I was asked more about my project. So the first question was about explain briefly about the project. So here I had to explain about the end-to-end architecture and as well as the end-to-end flow of my project. The next question was about what is the difference between rank, dense rank and row number. So rank is something which allows gaps, and dense rank is something where the gaps are not allowed. And row number is used to assign a unique numbers to the rows. So the next question was about explain about the Medallion architecture in the project which you have used. So here I had to explain about the bronze, silver and gold layers. So the next question was about how the incremental load is implemented in the silver layer. So in our project, we have implemented a incremental load in the silver layer where we were using housekeeping columns also. For example, we were using isActive flag as well as the last modified date and the start date time, etc. And coming to the next question, so I was asked about what is change data capture? How did you implement it in your project? So change data capture is something which track the changes of insert, update, delete in the source system. And coming to the next question, I was asked about what are some transformations which you have used in your project. So here I had to explain about different transformations, coming to the wide transformations as well as narrow transformations, and some of the filterings, then also the joins, aggregations, explode, flatten, etc. And the next question was about what are the different types of join you have used in your project. So I have used something like inner join, left join, right join, full outer join, semi joins, as well as anti join. So I had to explain about them briefly. And the next question was about what are the different join strategies you know. So we have different join strategies in Spark where we can use a sort merge join, broadcast as join, or a shuffle as join. So these are some of the join strategies and I have to explain them briefly. The next question was about how do you handle missing data or corrupted data in your project. So here I had to speak about how would I handle the null values and all. And also if there are some missing values, how can I use it as a default, like if I can use some default values or I can use some calculated values. The next question was about what is the importance of using partitioning and bucketing. So in this question, I had to speak about the partitioning where it splits the data based on the column values. For example, if we have a month, year, right? So we can partition the data based on the month or an year, anything. So I also had to speak about the bucketing, so which groups data into fixed size bucket for better joins. The next question was about what is vacuum and optimize in Databricks. What is the difference between the optimize command and auto optimize? So here I had to speak about the vacuum which removes old files which are not in use. And coming to the optimize command, it is something which combines the small files into larger ones. So this is basically used when we are having a small size problem. And coming to the next question, I was asked about how do you handle the data skewness in Apache Spark? So in Apache Spark, before Spark 3, we had to use salting technique. But from Spark 3.0 plus, so we have adaptive query execution, which is auto enabled. So we can use that. And apart from that, we can also enable the dynamic partitioning. And coming to the last question, I was asked about a coding question from SQL as well as PySpark. So here the question which was asked was, so consider that you are having a orders and customers table. So I had to find out the customers who have spent most on their orders in the last month in SQL as well as PySpark. So here I had to join two tables, the customer as well as the order, and I have to sum the order amount as the total spend or something, and then I had to give the where condition where the order date is kind of like greater than date add of the month and the get date. And also, so since it was used based on the customers, right, I had to group it based on the customer ID, and I have to order it based on the sum of the order amount. So this was the last question which I was asked. The final round was more about my understanding about my expectations and discussing the offer. So be honest about your aspirations and negotiate effectively. So that's it for today's video. I hope my experience and tips help you in the journey for becoming a data engineer at Accenture or any other company. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember that preparation and confidence are the key. Good luck with your interviews, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.